Soraya.
Hey, Jeff.
Beatles.
Ooh, we're in sync today.
Somehow, yeah, we are sometimes.
Share a brain.
Sometimes we plan it and sometimes it just happens.
This is a happy coincidence.
So are we talking about the Beatles today?
No.
No Paul McCartney interview?
If that were to happen, I would be just a bunch of dust on the ground because I would have spontaneously combusted. But anyways.
But it looks like we do have a guest.
Yeah, don't mind him. Yeah, you're not paid to be here. Please. Here. Anyways.
So what are
we talking about today? Forgive the cat.
The cat is always the star. So today, I don't know if you remember, Soraya, but we talked about this Nuggets box set that Rhino put out.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, and we did a deep dive on that and broke it down into 4 episodes.
Yep.
We're going to talk about another box set that Rhino put out, and that is Children of Nuggets. And we're going to do this all in one episode. So I don't know how many songs. It's like close to 100. Close to 100 songs, just shy. So yeah, so we're going to be talking about Children of Nuggets, which all 6 Paisley Underground bands are included. That's
now,
right.
Who have you added on?
Well, I like to include Green on Red and Long Riders, but
yeah. Well, we can also include Salvation Army. Yeah, but there's lots of bands that we have talked about are on that.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah.
Well, let's get into it then. Let's get started. Hi, this is Soraya.
And this is Jeff.
Our podcast is called Paisley Stage Raspberry and Rhyme.
A podcast where the two of us play music that we like and share anecdotes and background about the tunes.
We hope you'll join our conversation. And without further ado, a gruviar.
Let's get groovy. All right. So I know we're going to start off with you with the first disc, but if you don't mind, I have a couple general things that I wanted to talk about. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. So this box set released by Rhino in 2005, like the other Nuggets box set that we reviewed, has 4 discs on it. Each have just shy of 25 songs on them. This was put together by Gary Stewart, the late Gary Stewart of Rhino Records, and Alec Palau, who was a member of Rain Parade. I don't know, were you at the show when Rain Parade in 2015 where they played at the Echo?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, so Alec was on keyboards and then switched to bass, I think, when Steven would jump on guitar. But yeah, he put together the set. And I have a quote that's from the little booklet that comes with it. I Soraya'd my book. Soraya'd is now an adverb, right? Or
as it should be.
So it's got some great photos in here and little segments about the band, and it's a pretty decent sized booklet for box set. But he says something about this box set at the beginning that I wanted to read, if you don't mind. So he says, it was put to me recently that a slot on Nuggets was the garage band equivalent of an Oscar. A wonderful analogy, to be sure, but one that misses the point. It says, at least partly, from the start, Gary Stewart and I, as producers, both agreed Children of Nuggets should avoid becoming the expected précis of the 60s revival Diaspora. Instead, we believed it should reflect the full range of post-punk music that wedded a stylish foot in the past to a passionate rock and roll spirit. Whether either facet is intrinsic to the act's own style or merely to that of one song at hand, song being the operative word, since when was a collection of great songs such a radical concept? And then he goes on to say, thus, Children of Nuggets is not a neo garage set, an 80s power pop collection, a Paisley Underground psych anthology, etc., etc. Rather, it is those things and more. So I thought that was kind of cool from Alec talking about what the set is.
Absolutely agree with that characterization.
And then I just wanted to share, it's filled with little segments and has little pictures on it. Here's a picture of Salvation Army with Troy, Michael, and Lewis. I thought was kind of cool. Some pictures in here I haven't seen. Rain Parade up here. And then there was this picture in here, Soraya, of the 3 o'clock. I don't know that I've ever seen it before other than in here, but I think it's a pretty fantastic photo.
That's a
Of the
fantastic.
band. So yeah, this has all kinds of photos and little stories and whatnot. But anyways, Children of Nuggets 2015 or 2005 when it was released.
Yes.
4 CDs and nice little booklet. And we're gonna go through and tell you a little bit what's on it and play a couple songs, right?
Yeah.
Starting with you.
Okay, so let me preface this that so Jeff and I decided for this episode, we're gonna reference or talk about the entire 4-disc collection, but we were tasked with only picking one song from each.
Wow.
Okay.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because we love a challenge. So I'm gonna let everyone know. As Jeff mentioned, a lot of Paisley, Dream Syndicate's on there, everybody's on there. So I purposely did not pick songs that I would normally gravitate to by Paisley Underground bands. Jeff and I have listened to it before, so we're familiar, but of course you always go back to the things that you love or the songs that jump out at you. And so I decided to only pick songs that we haven't, from bands that we haven't talked about, because the other way is kind of easy. Anyways, and we've talked about it enough. So for my first pick, disc 1, I have picked a track by an Australian band. They're called the Stems. And the song I picked is called She's Fine. So let's listen to it and we'll talk about it after.
Show no profile on her head, 'cause she's not blue and she'll never be red. She's fine, she's so fine. She's fine, she's so fine. She's fine, she's so fine to me, yeah. She's got soul, she's downtown in the traffic flowing by, girl, don't you slow, 'cause she's got a heart and a head that serves. She's fine, she's so fine. She's fine, she's so fine. She's fine, she's so fine to me.
Such jangly goodness.
See, and you figured out the why I picked it. I love the beat of the song, very jangly guitars, and it's a really catchy song. It's a on a first, second, or umpteenth listen. It's a catchy song. And you can definitely, if we think about Alec Palau's words, you hear that late 60s inspiration in this song, without a doubt. And I love the beginning lyrics of this song. She's good and she got soul. She's in trouble and she don't know. Profile on her head because she's not blue and she'll never be red. And she's fine. So great song, The Stems. And this is a band that, if you're fans, please let us know. But they've got this very coveted spot on disc 1. So speaks to their value within this grouping of the Children of Nuggets. So
nice.
That's me.
Yeah.
What about you, Jeff?
I did want to mention that on disc 1 it has tracks by the Bangles,
Yep.
Salvation Army, the Pandoras. I think, is there a Dream Syndicate track? No, that's on disc 2. But yeah, so there's definitely stuff that we've talked about here.
Yep.
And then we go into disc 2, so we decided that would be mine, which does include the Dream Syndicate song, and it's got this cool picture, I thought, of the early version of the band.
Right.
Definitely some cool pictures. Long Riders are on this disc. The Green Telescope, Teenage Fan Club, so much good stuff on all of these discs. But I decided to play a track by a band called the Soft Boys, which a lot of people know. So they were an English band that featured the front people of Robin Hitchcock and Kimberly Rue. I saw a segment written somewhere that said that with their second album, Underwater Moonlight, which my track is from, that they became part of the neo-psychedelia scene. I don't know if this track represents that kind of feel, but yeah, the band started in 76 in Cambridge, England, and only lasted like 5 years. In 81, they broke up. They had a couple reunions. In fact, one of the reunions in the early 2000s, they released their third and final album, Next Door Land. Kimberly Rue went on to form Katrina and the Waves, which we know from Walking on Sunshine, right? The big hit, Walking on Sunshine. And then Robin Hitchcock formed the Egyptians with two of the early members of the Soft Boys. One of those guys, Matthew Seligman, he died from COVID in 2020, unfortunately. But the Soft Boys, so the song I'm playing is I Want to Destroy You. And I was reading different things on YouTube that I learned from you to do a little research and follow up with some comments, and a lot of people were making comments about how great the song was. Of course, you see that a lot with YouTube, but what an anthem it was. And I was trying to think of the words, and it talks kind of about people influencing how we think, and then also it sounds like there's some military aspect to the song, and what we do to young men to get them to be soldiers for our cause, what have you. But I started thinking that, to me, I Want to Destroy You sounds more like an anthem for social media. But anyway, what I love about the song, in all honesty, is and it's something similar between the two songs that I picked. It's the vocals on the chorus, on the harmony. Robin Hitchcock sings the lead, and Kimberly Rue is singing a harmony along with Robin Hitchcock. And I just absolutely love this chorus. But the song is I Want to Destroy You. The band is the Soft Boys. Let's give it a listen.
Just like it did before. They feed your pride with boredom and they lead you on. one that really makes me feel ill. 'Cause if you wanna fight, then you're just dying to get killed. I wanna destroy you. I wanna destroy you. A pox upon the media and everything you read. They tell you your opinions and they're very good indeed. I wanna destroy you. And when I have destroyed you, I'll come picking at your bone. And you won't have a single atom left to call your own. I wanna destroy you. I wanna destroy you. Wanna destroy you. Wanna destroy you. Wanna destroy you.
Cannot go wrong with that song.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun one. Post-punk, punk, I don't know what you want to call it, but that one has a fun vibe. That chorus is just grabs me. The words always crack me up though. I wanted to show. All right, so shall we move on to disc 3?
Why not?
Yeah, so some of the graphics have a lot of the covers from the early or from some of these stuffs. Disc 3 shows the stems, but of course that was disc 1. But disc 3 has includes tracks by the Barracudas, Died Pretty, Green on Red, Chesterfield Kings, Sponge Tones, The Unclaimed, the Plimsolls, Teenage Fan Club, all kinds of fun stuff. But I went with the leadoff track of disc 3, and it's The Unguarded Moment by The Church. We do have a connection with one of our episodes, or a couple of our episodes with Donette there,
Right.
who was involved with Steve Kilby from The Church at one point. So this song was written by the leader of the band, Steve Kilby, and his ex-wife. He was married at the time to Michelle Parker, and she co-wrote the song. I have some memories of this track in high school when I had the cassette. This comes off their debut full-length album of Skins and Heart, and it was the third track on that. And I remember every time I got to that, while I was wearing my Sony Walkman, I'd always rewind and try to find the beginning of this track, because I couldn't get past The Unguarded Moment. It's just a fantastic track. And again, the vocals on the chorus and the harmonies that are going just really make the song for me. But I read a couple things that I thought were kind of interesting about the song. Steve Kilby said about the song later in their career, the song just doesn't appeal to me, he says about his own song. He says, it doesn't give me any pleasure at all. Maybe it was exciting for people who thought the country was going to be bogged down with the Human League and Buggles of the decades. I was like, what a quote about your own song. I thought that was kind of interesting. And also, I read that in January of 2018, there's this Ozfest 100 that talks about the greatest hits of Australia. The Unguarded Moment ranked number 57 on the greatest hits of Australian penned songs. And then lastly, I wanted to mention that Roadrunner magazine said that they ripped the riff off from Ticket to Ride. We both have the Beatles shirt. I don't hear it, maybe a little bit, but anyways, they went on to say it doesn't matter. What matters is if you steal a riff, what you do with it, and what they did with it is great. So I don't know that I entirely agree that the riff got ripped off, but it does have a great guitar riff and great vocals. So I won't be rewinding this several times to play this multiple times, but we will listen to it once. Here's The Unguarded Moment by The Church.
So hard finding inspiration. I knew you'd find me crying. Tell those girls with rifles for minds that their jokes don't make me laugh. They only make me feel like dying in unguarded moments. So long between mirages. I knew you'd find me drinking. Tell those men with horses for hearts that their jibes don't make me bleed. They only make me feel like shrinking in unguarded moments. Deep without a meaning. I knew you'd find me leaving. Tell those friends with cameras for eyes that their hands don't make me hang. They only make me feel like breathing in unguarded moments. In unguarded moments. In unguarded moments. In an unguarded moment. 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 In an unguarded moment.
I love the muted guitar. That's one song I think that definitely uses that effect to favorably. So very cool. All right, disc 4. This is you.
All right, disc 4. Look at that.
Yeah, all kinds of good.
Wait, I wanted to say something. So towards the end of Unguarded Moment, there's a short strum that I can't replicate it, but it made me think of a Kiss song.
What? Oh no! Now I've got to go back now.
We'll rewind. But
Wow.
there was like a note. I'm all, wait, that sounds familiar, because I was trying to listen for Ticket.
Oh, and you heard Kiss.
And I heard something else.
Wow.
You guys, yeah, don't come at me, because
Yeah.
I don't know nothing from nothing. Jeff,
Yeah.
you and I will talk about it later. But anyways,
Awesome.
changing topics. Disc 4,
Disc 4.
filled with beautiful songs,
Mhm.
great songs. And I picked this song that, in the immortal words of the one and only Michael Curcio, it has got a freak out. This song has got everything. It's all put together. I gotta read. So the song I picked is by a band called Sundial. They're a British band, formed in 1990. And when I think of 1990, this sort of psych doesn't jump out at me, but it's cool. Anyways, and the song I picked is a song called Plains of Nazca. Okay, so let's listen to the song and then I'll read this because it's kind of long. Plains of Nazca by Sundial.
Sunset, rainfall splash your hair. Distant sounds of a magical fun fair. Multi-patterned light shines far away. In the forest where children love to play. Mountains turn to gold. Wait for daylight as your liquid worlds unfold. Watch the dripping of the cloud from inside. Images you see float across the sky.
Whoa.
There's a lot in that song, a lot of musical layers, and I think that's what I like about it. And I love this line: watch for daylight as your liquid worlds unfold. Ooh, I'm just morphing into it.
Far out.
Okay, so before I read this small piece about this particular song, in doing a deep dive through the internets, there was a Reddit thread about this song.
Oh.
Where and it was on a Pink Floyd Reddit.
Okay.
All where right. Some guy, the poster said, some serious interstellar overdrive homage influence going on here, methinks.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
I
Definitely.
mean, I don't think you can say no.
No. Yeah.
So it was interesting though,
Yeah.
Reddit thread.
Yeah. I can definitely hear some early Floyd.
Right. So this was a piece written on a blog for jivetimerecords.com, but I thought it was an interesting description of the song. LP opener Plains of Nazca starts in media res with Anthony Clow's Vox Continental organ drone, then takes off with drummer Dave Morgan's quasi-funky rhythm and golden spangles of electric guitar and a phantom angelic coo in the distance. Gary Ramone's voice is shrouded in a sick phaser effect, or is it being run through a Leslie speaker? As he intones as if stoned immaculate a few psychedelic scenarios seemingly composed under the influence of Owsley. Clow's organ solo is a fairground fantasia of pure spiral-eyed bliss. After clocking this stunning tune, one worries that Sundial may have peaked too early, but no, it gets better. And he goes track by track through this album, Other Way Out.
So the booklet says that album, all 1,500 copies sold out in 5 minutes.
Yeah, and the blog poster for this for Drive Time Records says there are 3 iterations of that album, and he has them all. And he says, and it's still not enough. Like he thinks this album is entirely underrated.
Wow.
But
Sundial.
It's Sundial, 1990s band from the UK. But this song to me, it's just those layers, because you hear that organ comes in, you hear that bass, and you hear the guitar, and you start the drums, and it's like layer, 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 and you're like, whoa. It's a really cool track to find and enjoy on disc 4. Jeff, you and I both know, just picking one song from 4 discs, it is unjust what we did, because we are leaving behind, I swear, Sundial had stiff competition for my pick from the Wondermints and Tracy Hyde, but I gave it to Sundial. But I mean, there are lots of gems on this Children of Nuggets collection. Yeah. And once again, the great Gary Stewart really had a great ability to put together collections of songs and introduce people to bands you may not have known.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Sundial gets your Oscar.
Yeah. No, well, it yeah, my 2 picks, I stand by them.
Excellent. They were great picks. I did want to read one last thing that Gary Stewart wrote about Greg Shaw, who is the founder of Bomp. So he's got this great picture of Greg Shaw, and Gary Stewart writes this, which I thought was a very nice tribute to the late Greg Shaw, who passed away in 2004.
Right.
Gary Stewart writes, "Many of the folks who made the records collected here were exposed to and transformed by the Farfisa, Rickenbacker, Vox ethos because of Gary's combination of journalism, entrepreneurialism, and evangelism. Some got their first record deals on the Vox label, Greg's post-Bomp enterprise. Others found their way through fanzines and maverick indie labels inspired by the Bomp label. Sadly, his legacy," talking about Greg Shaw, "has been overlooked in part due to his unwillingness to follow trends. His singularity of vision prevented him from reaping both the financial rewards and the prominence that many of his peers attained. He just kept practicing his religion until the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame takes notice that he belongs in the company of the Sam Phillipses, the Ahmets, the Mo Austins, the Jerry Wexlers of the world. This set, along with both previous Nuggets box set, one of which we talked about, several hundred other records, and pretty much the entire garage rock revival will have to do as a legacy for Greg Shaw. So I thought that was a nice way to close out, because a lot of these bands do owe something to Greg Shaw, many of which we've talked about specifically with the Vox label. So thank you, Gregs, both of those Gregs, for what they've done for my music collection, both Greg Shaw and Greg Stewart. So Gary Stewart, sorry. Greg Shaw and Gary Stewart. Thank you.
Yeah. I think we just leave it with the great Gary Stewart's words. Mi gente, a groovear.
Groove on, Paisley people.
There was a moment towards the end, it's like ding ding, and I'm like, that sounds like a Kiss song.
I love that Kiss made it to our podcast.
I'm probably gonna get a lot of Soraya. You need to clean out your ears.
No.
Gosh, play it, but quick. We have a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Go back to that. So it's towards the end of the song. So go to the midpoint of the Church's song.
Okay.
Let me see.
That part.
Right? Am I off?
No, I can hear it.
Okay. There we go. Problem solved. Just reminded me of a Kiss song.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably the beginning of Rock and Roll All Night.
Yeah.
I love
But see,
it.
like that's a common riff though. So
Still. I mean,
but still
yeah.
connection made.